Now with a play clock at 4, we're going to get a timeout call. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter.
Now a handoff here to his running back. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
They run it with a rookie from Alabama, Josh Jacobs. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 38 yards on the scamper there. Well, the Raiders last year, they were 25th in the league in rushing, and a good reason why they used one of their 3 first-round picks on Jacobs for runs like we just saw. Jacobs was the first running back taken in this year's draft, 24th overall. That was actually the pick that was originally acquired from the Chicago Bears in that Khalil Mack trade. About 3 yards there to the 27.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. 14 yards is the pickup there at a Raider first. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things. And it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
Our game not even 2 minutes old, but a quick red zone opportunity. They have a 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line. And here he'll get it down to the 7. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive, and like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Raiders drive right down the field and score on the opening drive. And they do exactly what they wanted to. Opening drive, they get into the end zone. They do it on the ground.
And not only is the person lugging the ball happy, of course, because he got it into the end zone. How about the offensive linemen and receivers who are blocking for him? They have to feel great about themselves, sticking it in the end zone on a running play.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line.
Let's go, baby. Tighten up, tighten up, tighten up.
Here's Dalvin Cook, 3rd year back from Florida State. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels. Because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Darquez Denard there defensively.
Yeah, good game catching the ball in the backfield a week ago, and they're going to try and involve him in that way in this game as well. But you can tell scouting is taking over. They're making it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, defensively, they told us, hey, we've got to take him out of the passing game, limit it to just short runs, because he can really impact this offense. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. To throw is Cousins. And that will be incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. We're taken right on the 30. He'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And the Raiders will have a short field to work with as they take over. Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. That'll set them back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13. Now they try the right side here. Room to run inside the 40. Good move at the 30. And he's finally down at the 21-yard line. And he's going to get this all the way down to the Vikings' 21-yard line.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. And I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Carr going to give it to Jacobs. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Yeah, that was a safety that came through and made the play. But there's no doubt in my mind, he hits like a linebacker, and we see a lot of that in today's NFL, don't we?
And that time we do indeed. A big hit for a loss. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. And that's their 2nd charge timeout here in this first quarter. They're down to 1 remaining. Now they'll throw with Carr. And this is caught at the 8th. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. A 22-yard touchdown grab. And the Raiders able to extend that advantage.
And that's exactly what you're supposed to do with good field position. You make the other side pay when you don't have far to go for the score.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Throwing on second down. Cousins setting up the screen for Cook. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen, where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Check. Gun. Check. Hot route. Hot. Gun. Mike 29. Pick me up. Here we go.
Cousins gives way to Cook. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter.
You don't want none, baby. You don't want none. Hey, you don't want to see me.
Looking to throw on second down. Cousins. And his throw is incomplete. The coverage that time excellent by Nevin Lawson. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treat it as such.
The threat of a second straight punt to start the game is looming as they come up 3rd and 10.
You better be afraid of me.
Cousins to throw it. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. LaMarcus Joyner with a pick. And the return here is stopped at the 35-yard line. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week. 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Nigel Branham brings him down.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the 2nd and the 3rd level.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
Mike down. Here we go, team. Here I come.
On first down, Jacobs. And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
I got you, Pop.
On 2nd down, Jacobs. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage.
Down. 180. 53. Mike. Hey.
On 3rd and long, it's Carr. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down.
You're down 2 touchdowns. You just know defensively you absolutely have to come up with a big play. That nearly was one right there.
Looked over at the sideline immediately after the drop and just saw the dejection. They felt it. They thought he had it. Unfortunately, couldn't come up with it. Last season for Carlson, bit of a strange rookie year. Won the Vikings job, then was let go week 2 after going 0 for 3, but he picked things back up.
Remember, he was drafted to cure their kicking woes, and he ends up going 0 for 3 against Green Bay, including the potential game winner. Gets cut, picked up by the Raiders, 16 for 17 the rest of the season. I'd say at the end of the year, a pretty good success story.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
Well, no, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first. First down, here's the run with Cook. The tackle there by LaMarcus Joyner.
Watch time, tight end right.
1-yard gain brings up 2nd and 9 at the 37-yard line.
29 is Mike.
On 2nd and 9, Cousins looking here for Smith downfield. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
And attempted a deep ball there. They didn't get it. But, boy, they're going to need a few of those to actually hit in order to get back into this game.
Good thing they do have a little bit of time here still left in the contest. Decent-sized deficit, but not one that they can't manage. After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave them trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Cousins now. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
On 4th down, they do snap it to Cousins. And this is incomplete. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Raiders with the football now in excellent field position. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Go.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll slice his way down to the 30 with a pickup of 7.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Check. Watch 54. Watch 54. Right here.
They go back to the ground, this time Jacobs. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. That 2nd down play nets a -4.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
In danger of squandering their great field position as they come up on a 3rd and 7. Working from the gun, it's Carr. And this is going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now, seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And on that last drive, went for it on fourth, turned it over. But good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on fourth down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3, and that's exactly what happened.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
They run again on first down, Cook. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13.
Mike 29. Come on. You better bring
Gun.
29 is Mike 29. Get him. Get him. Get him.
From the gun, here's Cousins. And incomplete. Tight end Irv Smith, the intended receiver. 3rd down here.
Partner, I think it's high time to get him some passes that he's comfortable with. Some easy throws, some completions. He's not even hitting the 50% thus far.
Certainly that has played a big role into why they are trailing right now.
Go.
Play fake. Cousins. Oh, and he'll just get rid of this one deep. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down.
Sometimes it's just not your day. Here's another failure right there on 3rd down.
Colquitt on to kick as he sends it away. 1:58 left to play till we hit halftime. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Who that? Mike's 54.
Shotgun now for Carr. He'll find his tight end. That's Waller. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. Throwing his Carr on 3rd down. That's complete to his tight end, Waller. And he's going to be taken down right at the line. The completion there winds up a wash, and it'll bring up 4th down. Here we go on 4th down with Carr. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked by Nick Vigil. Darren Waller, the intended receiver.
So first thing that crosses my mind is why didn't they just sit on the lead and take it to the locker room? They're in good shape.
Absolutely. And from this spot on the field, now you've given the other side a chance for points here going into intermission.
Yeah, you changed the momentum of the game, and it's something you did not need to do.
That'll be complete to Cook. This will be a 5-yard pickup as they move it from the 20 to the 15. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. Throwing again on 2nd down. Cousins. And this is Cook with a grab. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout, as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime. 3rd and short yardage. Cousins. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on third down. So instead of fourth down, first down.
Well, so much for winning the down you put a lot of emphasis on, because third down is key for offense and defense. Instead, you're going to stay on the field and start a new set of downs.
Brown, the lone receiver, left. This is first and goal, and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime.
Switch. 57's the mic. Watch 57. Five.
Working out of the gun, Cousins. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. Herb Smith Jr. as the first half is winding down, as they are now on the board here in the first half. The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that momentum, take that good feeling, and take the locker room, regroup, and start over. They got it here.
They did indeed. A lot of football, full half to be played.
First down 10 at their own 28-yard line.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Watch the slant.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Dancing to his left. And that is incomplete, stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go. Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. The final shot here before half for Carr. He'll have a first down past the 40. It's a foot race. The 20. And he's in for the touchdown on the final play of the first half. The prayer is answered.
How did they get that done?
That's a pretty quick response to that last touchdown drive, and it seemed like they had maybe given up momentum. Not so fast.
No, not at all, because they ended up pushing the lead up once again, and you're exactly right. Thought momentum might have been shifting. Instead, they grabbed old Mo, didn't let him get to the opposite sideline.
We're good. Raider 9. You ready? Mike's 54. Mike's 54.
And it's going to be caught. Not sure why they went for 2, but they do get it. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is fielded at the goal line. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. From the gun, it's a give to Cook. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain. On third down, Cousins. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
Cousins in the offense is going to stay out there. They're going to try on fourth down.
Gun. 29 is the mic. I know, easy. Here we go, D. Get off the field.
They'll indeed go for it. It's Cousins, and that's caught by Smith. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. 12 yards there. First down, Vikings.
First and 10 at the 39-yard line.
Cousins now 6 of 17 throwing the ball, only 35%, but he does have a first and 10. Give to Cook out of the gun. Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
Keep playing hard,
No gain on the play. Brings up second and 10 at the 39-yard line.
Mike 29. You ain't going nowhere. 29 is the Mike. Mike 29.
They go play action. Cousins. Open here, Adam Thielen. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 39. So again from the 39, this time from the other side of the field. Here's first and 10. A 10th carry in the game for Cook. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
Check 26, check 26.
A gain of a yard. Brings up second and 9.
Off the play fake, Cousins. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, you've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass. Now Cousins. And that is incomplete. The coverage that time excellent by Nevin Lawson.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on third down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a fourth down decision.
I guess they figure they got to start taking some chances. Here's a big one in this third quarter as he'll go for it on fourth down. Throwing is Cousins. And he finds his target. It's sharp. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 21 yards there. A big play on fourth down. Cousins now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's first and 10. Now Cousins. Cook with a first down and much more. He gets this one into the hands of Dalvin Cook. And he gets it all the way down to the 3. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last two plays.
Gun.
First and goal at the 3-yard line.
29 is the Mike.
Cousins again. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jonathan Abram, the rookie from Mississippi State. He's at the 40. Past the 20. 10, 5, and he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Raider defense delivers a score. This D wanting to put it away before we even get to the fourth quarter, widening that margin a bit further.
And while they won't just empty the bench just yet, if you're a backup, start loosening up. I think you'll get a chance to play before this one is over now with that type of a cushion.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And following the pick six, and they have decent field position in throwing that pick six. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
They told him, and they told us, they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
Another carry now for Madison. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down. Throwing, Cousins. And that will be incomplete.
Well, we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. The offense is going to stay out there. They've converted twice, failed once so far on 4th down. Let's see what's in store here. They're indeed going for it as they look to throw. The open man is Smith. And he's got the first down yardage before being taken down at midfield. So not only do they convert on 4th, but they pick up 22 yards in the process. Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
2nd and 10 at the 50-yard line.
Cousins now from the 50. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down.
Sometimes we wonder about play calls, but this one made perfect sense to me. He's got the only touchdown that they've scored in this game. Tried to get it to him again on another deep ball.
Play action now. Cousins. Looking left side, and it's complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. On 1st and 10, Cousins. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29.
Gun.
On 2nd down, it's Cook. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for 3rd down.
Brings up 3rd and a yard.
Hey, Steven.
On 3rd and 1, here's Cousins. And incomplete, a disappointing drop there defensively by the rookie. And now 4th down.
It's now 4th down.
Still just the 3rd quarter, but they've got to make something happen. I think they know that. They're going for it on 4th.
Gun.
He's crashing. He's checking crash.
Listen to me.
57. Mike, 57.
Now Cousins on 4th down. And he's got Kyle Rudolph. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. Some collective exhales over there on the sideline. A big pickup through the air on 4th down to bring up 1st and goal.
Vikings 7.
Two of their 3 red zone trips so far, they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal. Cousins. Setting up the screen for Cook. And they'll lose yardage here. They go backwards to the 13-yard line. Cook. And able to get him inside the 5 here, just inside the 5 to about the 4. A very valuable 9-yard pickup, and now they're set up a little better here for 3rd and goal.
22 jet bomber. 22 jet bomber.
29 is Mike. Mike, 29.
And here we go.
3rd and goal for Cousins. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. Boy, that's a 5-yard loss. 4th down now. Cousins to throw for it on 4th. Demarius Randall that time there to knock it free.
Now that's just simply good coaching An excellent technique on that play. You know why?
Why?
Because everyone wants to rush the passer when they want to throw the football, but you're not always going to get there. So what are you taught to do? When the ball's finally thrown, get your hands up in the passing lanes, and they batted that one away.
No. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. And to give this time to the tailback. That one good for 13 and a Raider first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Let's go. Here we go.
Carr now on first down. He's going to float this one deep right side. And it's knocked away and incomplete. Fourth quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. To throw again. Carr. It's caught by Aguilar. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make it 3rd and 13.
Down. 180.
53 is the mic. Tackles.
Easy. Kill. Mike. That's it.
Working from the gun, it's Carr. He's going to let this one go. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And they finally get him, but not before he reaches the 33-yard line. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles, that certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long, and I would say that going along with that has been confidence, because even if they had the right coverage, they've still dented them, and now it's been a real issue for them during this game.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. They'll run on first down. It's Jacobs. He'll get the first down and more inside the 20. And all the way down to the 17-yard line. A Raider first down, 17 yards. Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
His throw caught at about the 5. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. From 17 yards out, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And last time out, went for it on fourth down, turned it over, gave them great field position, turned it to 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on fourth down.
Caused all of that.
It caused every bit of it, but it showed confidence. Hey, I've got confidence in you guys. Go pick it up for it. Didn't happen. Also showed confidence in the defense. They didn't pick up their end of the bargain, so now they've got to come back out and start over and rebuild that confidence.
10 yards, and it's good for a Viking first down. Cousins now. He's got Smith here. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A very solid gain of 27. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. To throw, Cousins. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Cameron Wake with a little wake-up call as he gets in there for the sack. Another try after the first down sack. Cousins got him in. It's Brown. And he'll go down right on the edge of the red zone following a pickup of about 7 or 8. To throw is Cousins. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on fourth down. They're going for it. Desperation time. Cousins on fourth down. And it is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Raider D, they get the football back. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
Watch 54. Watch 54. Hey, keep it up. Keep it up.
On the ground, it's Jacobs to start the drive. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up second down. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with 65 seconds remaining. From the 22, here's 2nd and 8.
I'm coming. I'm coming. Express.
Once again, it's Jacobs. And there is nowhere for him to cut back as he's taken down in the backfield. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just over a minute to go in the game. On third down, here comes Jacobs. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. The Vikings going to use their third and final timeout as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game. Six-yard return after a punt of 48. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down.
Check tight. Hatch it. Hatch it. Quaker Omaha.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. 16 seconds now on the clock.
Got to be wary of throwing an interception here because the defense knows they're going to get tested deep. That's why they're going to put a couple of extra guys back there to try and prevent that.
Yeah, late in the fourth quarter here, trying to preserve the lead.
Hey, 382, last 50. 29 is the Mike. Mike 20.
On third down, Cousins. He's going to let it fly. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Good coverage there by Trayvon Mullen.
Incomplete. Results in a fourth down.
The 3 straight incompletions, they don't care. That hasn't dissuaded them. They're going to go for it on 4th. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked up by the rookie from Clemson, Trayvon Mullen. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line. Johnson, the intended target. Play clock down to 0, and this is not the way to start a drive. So that'll back him up 5.
Can't hear you. Can't hear you now.
So a little bit of a stiffer challenge now. 1st and 15 following the delay of game. Carr down to a knee, and that ought to just about do it. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to